Testing. Okay. So let's just make sure my other microphones are doing what they're supposed to do. All right. They appear to all be muted. Okay. So apparently it's a clone of Dash, but it's a bit of a mess. It's got, based on the work of Mr. Who from Cointigo, which is a really cool SMS wallet that is based out of Venezuela. Let's see. Here's Cointigo. It's got timestamps from 1969 and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Yeah, so definitely check out Cointigo. They're interesting. So reportedly, since 18th of December, the Petro has done one. Oh shoot! I better open Skype, huh? Well, you know what? If you're gonna Skype in, drop me a comment in the live stream. I should see it here. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, I should see it here. So yeah, just drop me a comment and then I'll open up Skype. 1.2 million transactions at 7,400 merchants in 2 weeks. I mean, wow, that's pretty impressive. Got to give them credit for that. So let's see. And this is because about 9 million Venezuelans got an airdrop of 0.5 Petros. And I believe, maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that there are certain products that are price stabilized in Petro, so denominated in the Petro. And now, apparently, I haven't seen data about this for a while, but apparently they're always the same price in terms of the Petro. It does. I think this is just my own theory that, with all the gold that Venezuela has repatriated, that they're using that to buy products and price stabilize. So kind of like a stable coin in reverse. And this is not, let's see if we can, this is not entirely unprecedented. There was a 14 years period in Brazil of hyperinflation. A friend of mine from Brazil was telling me about this. And they tried everything. And then finally, to get it to stop, they invented they invented a digital currency, and it might be the current one, which I think is the real. I'm not sure. Yeah, here it is, the 1994 real plan. This looks like it. They tricked people really into thinking that it might have had like a dollar, like a link with the dollar, and they just emitted this new currency, and it was digital, and apparently my stream quality has gone down, and people bought into it, and that's how they ended hyperinflation in Brazil. So yeah, Brazil, of course, the hyperinflation in Brazil was not as bad, right? It peaked at 2,500%, and the hyperinflation in Venezuela is like 1,000,000%. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, unidad. So real unit of value. That's what they called it, right? It wasn't an actual bank note, just a unit of account. So all prices had to be listed in this, and then they had to convert. And that conversion, that's interesting. So the old currency became volatile. I mean, it stayed volatile. Anyway, that's very interesting. So that's an interesting gambit on the part of Venezuela. for socialists, these guys are really incredibly hard to kill. um, and as I showed last week, they had like military and bureaucrats going around to merchants trying to demand that they accept the Petro. So, but at the same time, the dollar is the value of the bolivar seems to be falling relative to the dollar. Anyway, so let's go take a look at over here at the Petro support group. Let's just take a look at this puppy live. See what kind of things people are saying. So supposedly this is for public sector workers, military, and people on pensions. But there are many bureaucrats that didn't receive it. But military personnel did receive it. So he's complaining some people didn't get it. Yeah. Here, this guy is in Traqui, which is kind of like the Walmart of Venezuela. He says he wants to transfer, but it doesn't let him. Says an error. I have the amount. What should I do? Who will explain to me the process, the Petro processes? Okay, perfect, Julio, pero just like with Jesus and I, who gives us an answer? Unfortunately, one knows the system and knows that some response they have in their mouths is not satisfactory for one. Let's see. So he's responding to the guy in Traqui. Open the Petro app, scan the QR code, and then it will tell you to add the information. Oh, I have a business. How do I how do I accept Petros? Petro app doesn't work. I don't understand. There are people here to them. What happens to their purchases? And it gives me an error. I want to send my DAG coin to the Petro app, but it doesn't accept the ad. Why? Why would the Petro app accept your shit coin? Seriously. Give me a break. This guy still can't make his payment at Traqui. Dollar shot up to more than 56,000 bolivares. Why? All the merchants in Barquisimeto, which is, I think, a number 3 or 4 city by population of Venezuela, have the excuse that there is that the biopago system, which is like a point of sale, that it's not working. And who's going to help the people pay with their Petros? So as you can see, I think one conclusion to take from this is like you have to put crypto. You have to give people crypto. Like you can't just sit back and say, "Oh, people can buy in." Like I'm sorry, that's pretty stupid. Hey, Pierre, thanks for the comments. Okay, so my friend Pierre is in Venezuela, and he says the system broke. All the stores are closed because the merchants haven't been paid. So yeah, so this is a real concern of mine, is that the merchants get paid in Petro, but then so they empty their stores. I was talking about this last week. They empty their stores. They sell all their products for Petro. Now, what do they do with that Petro? Can they get bolivares, dollars, Bitcoin, whatever, Bitcoin Cash, in order to buy new merchandise to fill up their stores? You know what I'm saying? You have to buy in. What do you mean you have to buy in? You're saying you got to buy in. Not sure what he means. But yeah, that's a big concern. So easy for merchants to get screwed over and all this. And basically can be like, I can understand the merchants don't want to accept, because basically they empty their stores and then they end up with a worthless currency. So yeah, so that's where we are with the Petro. So another topic, and I'll be standing by in case anybody has any other comments about the Petro. And thanks again for those comments, Pierre. Oh, I see. So Pierre says that the Petros get deposited into their Banco de Venezuela account, so Bank of Venezuela. All right. Well, I do wish the merchants well with their Petros. Fingers crossed. I think you'd be better off with something else, though. But as I was, so the bank is supposed to pay them. This is very interesting. Yeah, and once again, like if you wanted to come on and talk about it, Pierre, you're more than welcome to come on for a couple of minutes. Just give me the heads up and you can Skype in, or if anybody else wants to come in. But I think this is, the Petro is kind of a lesson to those of us in crypto who have been a little bit timid. A little bit timid at the hour of promoting cryptocurrency. Like, we're 10 years in. Government regulations are closing in. Like, at what point are we going to make a grand gesture? You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point are we going to, like, give some crypto to, like, 10 million people, in one place? And then have teams ready to go around and be like, hey, obviously not to use force, but to say, hey, all these guys have this money. This is your chance. And, and to demonstrate and to prove over and over again that there's liquidity, so that the merchants can accept the amount that, up to the amount they want, and then cash it out. And then they can see that it's circular. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point are we going to make some grand gestures? Everybody's holding. When are we going to start building? You know what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of people building. I don't mean to talk down the work of all the people developing software and all that, but like, we need users. We need to bring new people into this. We need some new blood. All right, thanks again, Pierre. So here is an interesting thing. Telegram, which is a Russian company, is refusing to share their bank records with the SEC. And I say kudos. But the thing that really gets me is Telegram is claiming that if and when their Gram token launches, it will constitute a currency, not a security. A currency. This is really an interesting point here, because you go to places like, it's like the whole, I think it was the CFTC thing. Like everybody wants to designate a cryptocurrency as property, as a thing, as an asset. Like, don't you dare say it's a currency. Like here in Colombia, like, and I think maybe even in Venezuela, people want to call it crypto activo, like a crypto asset. And I'm not a fan of that. Like, it's cryptocurrency, Like, yeah, okay, it's a bit messy as currency. Like, it's really hard to use it as a unit of account. Some people are talking about just giving up on using it as anything other than just a value transfer network, like not even accept Bitcoin Cash. Hell no, like, we got to have it dollars, and then we're going to run dollars over the blockchain. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. So when these guys, Telegram, comes out and says it's a currency, I love that. And that drives bureaucrats up a wall. Also, I came across this article from CoinSpice. And if you're not already reading CoinSpice, I highly recommend it. They have, you know, like most crypto media, like you go in and it's like some guy pieced together, yeah, crypto plata. There we go, Pierre. Yeah, definitely. Crypto plata. Plata, of course, is Spanish for silver or colloquially money. Um, yeah, so CoinSpice has voice. You know, you go to most of these crypto news things, and they're just, like bad English, copy and paste jobs. It's just like repeating news from 3 months ago. But CoinSpice has voice. C. Edward Kelso, I don't know anything about him. I don't think, but the man has a voice, and so you, as a fellow writer, you got to respect that. It's spicy. So yeah. So without women, peer-to-peer electronic cash will fail. And I'm going to take the opposite point of view here because like he makes the point that, well, women are the majority of the population. Women manage household finances, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah? Like, dudes are already baked in. So let's just take men for granted. And I think he has a point here. We love risk. Um, Here's the thing. Women are conservative by nature. Like women, I think in general, not all women, of course, but generally speaking, like you go into occupations that are dangerous, police, taxi drivers, or anything new, especially new technology. You're never going to find a lot of women there, and that's because men are risk takers. And we are still at the stage where there's a lot of risk that needs to be taken here. So I would say we need more men and like strong men and men who are going to be like, like at the moment where it's like, hey, we got to bring new people in, men who are going to step out into the street and bring those people in. Um, Women are not always up for that. Of course, men are not always up for that either. But we need those male characteristics of raw strength, of stepping out into the unknown, of taking risks. We still need those. If I feel like if we do what C. Edward Kelso is suggesting, it's a recipe for calcification, for a bit of a fossilizing of things. Of course, he has some good ideas. Of course, like where he says that we need better interfaces. I couldn't agree more. Um, like user interfaces in crypto, generally speaking, are not exciting. We definitely need to think. I think he's right on here. Of course, it's not that the user interfaces were made for dudes. It's the fact that all of the people in charge of making them are programmers, and programmers are dry, very dry people, very rational, right angled, and it's very few cryptos that have gotten any kind of a design team, in any consistent way. So yeah, gonna have to disagree with that. Here's a tweet that came out today saying Bitcoin Cash developers should try to make Bitcoin Cash the prime choice for staking, collateral, and payments. So basically, what he's saying is here, like, we need to copy DeFi onto Bitcoin Cash. And I think DeFi has some interesting things going on, but at the same time, like, why should we copycat? Like, also like let's instead of like everybody always like, oh, like a big thing is, hey, Uber is successful, let's make an Uber clone. I see that over and over again. Like, instead of saying, oh, somebody pioneered this, let's make a copy of it, let's think about what the next step is, what was left unaddressed. Like, how about investment? Like, how about we bring investment opportunities? Um, because a lot of people with I think it's qualified investor thing, you have to demonstrate that you have a certain income, you have a certain level of assets. With all that, a lot of people are left out of of the whole investing game. People who work hard and they save up, and where can they put their money? Well, you got a savings account, you got U.S. government bonds, your house or a second house, um, a mutual fund. Like, oh my god, that's so boring. Like, some people would like to put something in things that are high risk, high yield. So what if we took a look at that? You know, let's see. So show's running a bit long. Let's see. Yeah, we're about 22 minutes in. So I think I want to just let's see. So this gentleman had some. This is an interesting guy. So he had some interesting things to say. He puts out a weekly newsletter. So let's take a look. Let's see if I can bring this up. So he has some interesting things about geopolitics, which I think it's important to keep in mind at the time of doing crypto adoption, because we have to think about what regions or what global trends are going to are at play, and try to kind of surf those. So Azim, and I definitely recommend you following him on Twitter at Azim, and signing up for his weekly newsletter. So he sees more fragmentation. Asia, I think the most interesting thing here is India become the world's third largest economy by 2030. And this plays into a topic that I talk about a lot, which is remittances to India. I think India may be the number one or number two. Yeah, more than 12% of the world's remittances in 2015 went to India. And remittances, here. India was number one in remittances for in 2017. Then China, Philippines, Mexico. I believe Mexico is number three now. Not sure which one fell. But India, the remittances market is huge in India. And I'm a big proponent of remittances for adoption. Here's the thing with remittances. When somebody's sending a remittance, they're already in the market for changing currencies. So, I mean, that's like, you have to reach your buyer at the right moment. That's when they're ready to change. Crypto has a natural, if we can keep down the spreads when entering and exiting, I think crypto has a natural advantage because it crosses borders as if they didn't exist. Whereas remittance providers are expensive. There's lots of paperwork. And also, we can enter directly into digital remittances, whereas a lot of the Western Union, MoneyGram, etc., are just coming in to digital remittances, to the digital means of sending them. Also, certain markets, the global average is around 7 to 8% in terms of fees when sending a remittance, but in some markets, it's as high as 15 to 20. With using kind of the bowling pin strategy out of, pretty sure that was from the book Crossing the Chasm. Start in some of those higher ones and then move along. So the fact that India is on the upswing, and India is also the top remittance receiver in the world. This is a real key moment, I think, to get into India. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I just wanted to share this announcement. There's a Bitcoin Cash meetup in Saigon, Vietnam, on next Monday in 1 week. Akane Yoko is, hopefully I pronounced that right. I did live in Japan for 4 years, but my Japanese is pretty rusty. Um, so Akane is running that. You can sign up here already, about 22 folks attending. Wish I could go. I haven't been to Vietnam yet. And I think with that, we'll sign off today. Thanks so much, Pierre, for commenting. Hopefully, I will have you some guests this week. And in 30 minutes, I'll be doing this again in Spanish, and I have a guest. So keep wheedling. Talk to you again soon.